Hi there, y'all. Here's our view to the southwest.
Dear, are you up?
What?
Are you on?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to tell Melanie.
Not sure anyone else is on yet. Oh, somebody's on. Guest requests. All right. Oh, we're getting people. Okay. Good. I'm not just out here in the front yard talking to myself anymore. And there's an echo. Okay, we're looking to the southwest, and it's getting dusky. Can you turn your sound down, please? Thank you. And zoom in a little bit. And there we go. Probably can't see the separation on this view, but we will. Ain't that the way it always is, Kevin? We've been clearing 1 million, so it's nice. Oh, well, there you can see for a second. If I do that and it focuses, you can kind of see. Maybe not. Okay, so we're doing this, and we're chatting, and one of the reasons this is so entertaining is because I don't know squat about doing this on a regular basis. So there it is. I can't figure out how to zoom back out. Oh, there we go. So we have our Christmas lights, which aren't helping the light pollution, but try not to step on these. Over here, if you've been looking on the website, I've been taking pictures. So here's the 300 millimeter zoom lens, just on a tripod, and that's taking a bunch of the pictures. Hey, Coach. This is the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction. We're live in LA, off to our southwest. There's Jupiter and Saturn, almost on top of each other. And in a second here, if I can figure out how to run the camera, which it doesn't appear I'm able to. We're going to go over here and use that. There we go. Okay, so Christmas lights and the big telescope. So I've had limited success with this. Let me make sure you can look at the Christmas lights. Let me make sure this is still lined up. Oh, yes, it is, and nicely so. Okay, this is a medium lens. Let's see, so we're going to see if we can get this to look through there. Here we go. Should be able to see that. Saturn will be on your left. You can't quite see enough detail through this kludgy little setup to see the rings, but you can see it's elongated. And then Jupiter is the big bright one on the right. And then going from about 11 o'clock to about 5 o'clock, you can see a number of dots in a line next to Jupiter. Those would be the Galilean moons. So at this point, you can see Saturn, see Jupiter, and a bunch of moons. Let's try switching to a different lens.
What's that? What am I looking at here?
I don't know what you're looking at. What are you seeing?
I'm looking at your live feed.
Well, right. I was just looking through there and showing Jupiter and Saturn. We've got, 8 people looking now. We have a police helicopter. Oh, let's at least show lights rather than something black. I have to get the lens cap off of this. Going to go to a lower powered lens, which will give us a little wider and brighter view. I get it focused. Okay. Let's try this again. There we go. Right there. Again, like I said, we went to a lower power, so Saturn's still on the left, Jupiter on the right. And you may be able to see a line of probably 4 dots that are the Galilean moons. I'm not quite sure what order they're in. They tend to move around a lot more than people think. But there'll be Io, Callisto, Ganymede, and Io, Callisto, and Europa. Yes, we are. You want to take a look?
We don't have our mask with us.
Oh, I can stand back.
Really? You wouldn't mind?
I wouldn't mind. Let me lower this down for you. We're getting visitors here. Now, let me just switch to the other eyepiece. We're getting visitors with a dog. You can see the bands on Jupiter. You can see the rings on Saturn. You can see 3. Let's see, right now you can see 3 of the Galilean moons. One of them must be behind. So, if you want to come up and take a look, you can.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay.
Do you see where to shoot your
Yeah, so just,
Can't you reach
Yeah.
it? I think so. No. You can't? Let me lift you.
here.
Here, do you have a step stool or something?
I can swing it down a little bit.
Oh. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
It's really nice of you to let us look. We walked up the hill. We live down on Pomelo. So we walked up just so that we could see it clear
Yeah.
from our...
We used to live on Pomelo.
Did you really?
Yeah, right by the school.
Yeah, we're not in that block, but we're in the next block, kind of after the hill crests.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
For the schools.
Go ahead, try that. See if you can see it.
You're welcome.
Can you see it?
Oh, it's so cool.
Do you see them? They look white.
Are you avid, like, stargazers?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that's
avid.
quite a telescope.
We used to bring it out on Halloween when we were in Pomelo. And it was
Stand by, everyone. Yeah, I don't think you get to look.
Amazing. That's what focuses the lights, right?
This is what's called a Newtonian telescope because Isaac Newton invented it. So there's a big mirror down at this end. So it's open up at front. There's a big mirror down here that's got a parabolic mirror. So you'll learn about parabolas, and they focus the light. It focuses the light up here, and what there is here is what's called a spider. So it's got 4 vanes, and there's another mirror, a diagonal mirror, that takes that light and shoots it out to the side. And then there's an eyepiece here that you focuses it.
Tell them that what they're seeing is upside down.
Yeah, so if you look there,
Oh, that's right. Saturn's on the right.
Right.
And here it's on the left.
right, so if you look there, you'll see the bright Jupiter on the left and Saturn on the right, but it'll be reversed here.
So exciting. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
When we first walked up, I saw your candy canes because we have like a row of 15 that are a little bit taller, but I've never been able to find ones that match that we can do all the way across the yard.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
we work with what we got.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Have a nice walk.
Hey, you were complaining the whole time I made her find your home.
See, good things happen at the top of the hill. You want to go in and grab the wipes?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, okay, back to you guys on Facebook. I should get my glasses on so I can see something. The other disadvantage of getting old. How many of you guys are still there? 7 of you are putting up with this nonsense. Okay, so as we can see here on this view, it's gotten darker, which makes it easier to see the separation between the two of them. So we'll see if we can get that to work. Get it to focus. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so let's try this.
Ben's looking like Philip, yelling and screaming.
Oh, yeah. This would be my surprise face. There we go. Okay. Get on your hands and knees for the kid. The kid was doing great. I just had to tilt the telescope down.
Yeah.
So for those who haven't used one of these, it rotates. There are things in here. So the whole thing rotates. So for the little kids, oh, thank you. For the little kids, we rotate it down. The German Shepherd wanted to look, but that wasn't going to happen. He was curious about it. He was very well behaved. He was a good boy. Let's tilt that back up. As you can see, it rotates. Okay. So back to where we were. I don't know if it's still in there. You
Can I hold on to this?
as long as you don't move it. Yes.
Doesn't seem as bright as it was before. Is there something?
I don't know. Let me take a look.
Yeah.
Make sure it's...
I'm going that way.
That's because they're not...
Jupiter seems much brighter with the naked eye.
Okay, there you go. So let's try this again. Let's...
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Okay. So she's looking.
Jupiter, Saturn. Is one of the moons kind of far away?
It could be Callisto. It could also be a background star, but it does seem to be in line. I could check my app, but then I would lose everybody on the internet. Who's out here? Michelle, Danielle, 2 other people are watching. Oh, and Melanie thinks it's like watching Hallmark. Kind of. Okay, so here we go again. Try this. So you can see just to the naked eye, it's getting down there actually. And let's zoom in. And we lost it. There it is. Trying to get this stupid thing to focus. Hi, Mike. Yeah, it won't focus. Yeah, the camera's trying to, the iPhone's trying to help, and it's not helping. So anyway, you can see it, it's actually setting. So we've got some trees over there. We may have to move the camera here in a bit. But that's happening. And then the setup we have here on the camera, if I can move over this way so we're not behind the tree, is, anybody wonders how this works? The secret is to take lots of pictures. So let's see, get it centered. What I really need is a third hand. So hold on here. Okay. Get it centered. Focus the lens as best we can. And then, as you can see here, I'm going to start at about 1/100th of a second, and it's called bracketing. So I got my little trigger. And 1/80th. And we're just gonna change the exposure, move it on a little bit longer and longer exposures. And somewhere in the middle here, we'll get to the point where the exposure is right. We'll get back to the telescope as soon as we're done with a set here. I want to make sure I get at least one set before the planet's set. And we'll work our way up to, we're at 1/5 of a second. We'll work our way up to about 4-second exposure. So hang in there, people. What? What did you say?
The only thing I'm seeing is the neighbors across the street.
Right. Do you see the plane? The plane. There's a plane right below them. Okay, so here's our 5-second exposure. All right, back through the Christmas lights. Let's go back to the telescope. You can really see, I don't know how much you're going to be able to see. Let me describe for a second. So you got Saturn, in this view, you got Saturn on the left, Jupiter on the right. Down to the lower left of Saturn, you can clearly, well, through the telescope in the eye, you can clearly see Titan. And right near the planet at about 9 o'clock, you can see what I'm sure is Rhea, which is the second brightest moon of Saturn. On Jupiter, you can definitely see 3 of the moons in a line. There's a fourth something way up there, but I think that's too far out. That's got to be a background star. So that's what you're looking for. Saturn on the left, Jupiter on the right, at least 3 moons in a line. So let's see if we can get that where the 7 of you who have stuck through all this nonsense can see it. Let me see. Where are we at here? The fun part is trying to get the camera lined up perfectly over the eyepiece. Almost. Maybe let's try this. Let's try bringing that up. Stand by. Repositioning the telescope, maybe make this easier. Okay. Doesn't want to work, does it? Oh, what was that? There we go. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so the slightly dimmer one on the left, upper left, is Saturn. Jupiter, the bigger blob on the right. Focus is not great, but this is a kludgy system, and then you may or may not be able to see 2 or 3 of the moons in a line near Jupiter. And I seriously doubt you're going to be able to see Titan or any of the Saturn moons. But that's how close they are. To the naked eye, now that it's dark, you can definitely see a split between them where you couldn't when it was lighter and Saturn was dimmer in the twilight. So I'm hoping you guys can see this. I can't tell if anyone is seeing any moons. I can try to change the focus a little bit. Well, maybe. The problem is if I don't use both hands, then I lose positioning. For a last-minute kludgy type thing, this may be as good as it gets. Yes, Jim, those would be the moons. Melanie's seeing 3 moons. Let me try this again. Make sure we're still lined up. Yeah, there will be 1. I'm looking now. There's 1 above Jupiter and 2 below. Looking to see, not enough detail on this size of a telescope to see the red spot. And I don't know if it's there or not. So anyway, let's try this again. Okay, Michelle, you do know that you can clean your phone's screen. Just saying, a little Windex goes a long way. So one of the things I discovered in looking at some of the really, really cool pictures that are online of this today, because there's a bunch of them from people with big telescopes and observatories and so on and so forth. Most of those are actually composite photos. They're accurate, they're true, but it's not one photo because Jupiter is really, really bright. So if you expose to show Jupiter and expose to show the rings of Saturn, you're never ever going to see the moons. It's too short of an exposure. They're bright. But if you expose to show the moons, then you get kind of what you're seeing here, which is just a big blob. So they'll take 3 or 4 pictures of different exposures and then take the best part of each and put them all together, which is actually what you see with the eye, but it's not one picture. And I've been trying to do it with a one. So just looking at this, even without my glasses, I can see a couple of the moons. Yes, I know. Madness. Cleaning things. So for those of you who didn't get to see this, because it's cloudy, it may not be quite as bright and as close tomorrow night, but the press that makes it sound like, oh, this is happening at 5:30 tonight and, go see it then or it'll go away. That's not the case. Did something just go by there? Not sure. Oh, those are hearts. I was actually looking, the reason I asked, I was actually looking at this last night, and a couple of the Starlink telescopes went shooting by, and it was pretty cool. So there were like 3 or 4 of them in a row, just I was thinking we might be getting that again, but hey, Jenny, how you doing? Anyway, if you're clouded out tonight, you've got weeks to see this. They will be moving apart. Tonight is the night. It was actually about 10 hours ago, that they were at their closest. But they're still pretty darn close. And if you look on my website, you can see I've been posting pictures for the last 2 weeks. They've been getting closer and closer and closer. And tonight's the closest, but after this, they will start moving away slowly. They'll be visible for about 3.5 weeks. They're moving towards the sunset, so they'll be down lower every night. They'll be getting closer to the sun. They'll be harder to see in the twilight, but they'll be visible until about January 10th or so. And after that, they'll be lost in the twilight. And then mid-February, because they're moving around behind the sun, mid-February, they'll be out in the morning sky, climbing out of the twilight. So, and of course, they're not really that close. They look that close, but they're actually almost 1 billion miles apart, which is one of the reasons that Saturn is not as bright. It's further away from the sun. Glad you at least tried, Jenny. Get out there. Hey, Lori, how you doing? So for those, Jenny and Lori, who just joined us, that's Saturn on the left, Jupiter on the right. We're looking through my telescope, and it's a kludgy setup, and I'm just kind of holding the phone up to the eyepiece, but it beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. And you should see at least 3 of the Galilean moons near Jupiter. I think I said 1 on top, 1 up above it, and 2 down below. They'll be in a line. And for those of you in Vermont and Chicago and places like that, I won't tell you how warm it is out here, although I am wearing a sweatshirt. And they are getting down there low in the sky. They're getting down near the horizon. So we will probably lose it behind that tree from this position in 10, 15 minutes or so. Lori, you're in Connecticut, right? If I remember correctly. Okay, Jim's got the third moon. Excellent. I'm trying to hold still. FedEx is across the street delivering something. Excellent. Oh, I moved. Okay, let's try this again. So, again, Christmas lights off above the neighbor's house. Can I see it? There it is. So it's up above the neighbor's house there, setting, getting fairly close. I think you can just see it in this view. Let me take this opportunity to put my glasses back on since I'm blind as a bat without them. I've gotten to that age where without them, I can't read anything. And with them, I can't walk. Oh, thank you. Hey, Lisa, good. So yeah, we still don't have all the lights up. Don't have anything over here, but yeah, we got most of them up. Hey, John. Okay, so we'll go back. We'll try this again. So had a couple of people join us. There it is across the street with the naked eye. You can just see the separation. And let's see if I can find it again through the telescope. Here's our telescope for those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about. 8-inch Newtonian. We've had some visitors, people walking by and wondering what the heck's going on. There we go. Trying to reconnect. Hopefully I'm back on. There we go. So again, the camera, I moved. The camera is going to try to overcompensate, or it's going to try to adjust the focus and stuff. And particularly, it's going to try to play with the exposure. So these are going to be all overexposed. But on the left, you have Saturn. You can see a little elongation there. On the right, you have Jupiter. And then next to Jupiter, you should be able to see 3 of the Galilean moons. There'll be 1 above and 2 down below. And I wonder, lost them. And the reason we keep losing this is because I'm just holding this phone up to the eyepiece here. It's kind of kludgy. There we go. Oops. This thing I can't move. There we go. So as I was saying, you'll be able to see this for, if it's cloudy tonight, or if you don't have a pair of binoculars and you can get a pair of binoculars, these will be moving apart, but just you can with a good pair of binoculars, not talking a ton of money, decent pair of binoculars, you can probably see the Galilean moons. Might be able to see Saturn elongated at least, but these guys will be in the field of view of a normal pair of binoculars, be in the field of view together for another week. And then they'll be visible with the naked eye, of course, on a clear night for probably another 3 weeks or so. Getting down to the point where I'm not sure. I don't think I'm moving. We may be starting to lose them in that tree. That may be what the flickering is. We are getting down amongst them. So, yeah, it's, don't know what time it is. Sunset was a little after 5 tonight. I came out and could see them at about 5:20. Went live with this at 5:30. And it's now, probably like 6:15, 6:30. So you can see you've got an hour or so after sunset. That will be getting less and less. Right now, look at Saturn right now. It's like almost can see the rings separated. Almost. Maybe. Just barely. It's trying to focus. Which it should stop. It should just relax. But it's trying. Anyway, you got another 3 weeks to go out and see this in the evening. As they move apart, it won't be quite as spectacular, but they're still gorgeous. If you got a nice, crisp, clear night, go out. And, of course, the moon. We are losing these guys. Okay, we're losing that. However, speaking of the moon, let's finish with that. The moon has finally moved out away from underneath the roof. We have this, just so fill you in on the background here, we have this driveway that goes downhill. It's actually fairly steep. So we're way up here at the front, at the top of the driveway on the one part that's kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit flat-ish, trying desperately not to slide down into the Volvo. But which means that we can't see much in back of us to the east. But we're now to the point, there it is. We're now to the point. This you'll be able to see. This is a little bit bright. It should look familiar. Oh, again, I moved. I can't move. Oh, yeah. Hello, moon, exactly. So it's about a half illuminated. There we go. As the camera finally adjusts the brightness. So the best time to see the moon, people think the best time to see the moon is at full moon because it's so bright. It's actually not true. Best time is as you go day by day and you look along the terminator, the line where the sunrise is. That's when you get all these nice shadows. Oh, camera's freaking out. From here, I'm watching as Saturn and Jupiter disappear behind the trees. So, one of these days, what I'd really like to get, probably not this Christmas, but you can actually get little cameras that act like they're the same shape as a lens for this thing, for these telescope, and they just plug into your computer. It's basically just a USB connection for a glorified webcam. And it makes all this so much easier. So, one of these days. So there you go. There's your moon. My arm's killing me. There's your moon. Welcome to Southern California for those of you who are back in colder places. And we'll say goodnight with the Christmas lights. Thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. Go out and next clear night and keep an eye on them. It'll be exciting.